Khalil Anwar, and my job is a lead BA. The BA is the link between technical and non-technical members of a project team. So we do that by obviously understanding both technical and non-technical language and creating documentation and output that allows everyone from both sides to kind of understand what our end goal is. And that's broken down into even more granular steps of how we achieve that end goal. So we do that through process maps, user stories, requirements, acceptance criteria, and testing criteria as well. So that's, in a few sentences, how I describe what business analysis is. Speaking from my direct experience, I think having a personable and relaxed character makes a good VA. I think just by having those characteristics, you kind of open the door to allow lots of stakeholders to communicate with you honestly and openly, which is what you need as a BA. You need them to tell you what they need in order for you to take that need and turn it into something that the project understands. You need to have an element of curiosity about you as well. You need to be interested in how everything works. No, it's no good someone telling you that, oh yeah, we do things this way. Well, okay, why? How? Well, the actual steps involved in that this way that you're talking about, being able to word things in a way that aren't ambiguous, and repetitive, actually will be read by technical and non-technical people for them both to understand what they need from that particular requirement or explanation. My honest answer is you should have a BA from the start. My answer to your specific question is when the project team has identified a need to carry out some kind of investigatory work to understand the problem more. So this might be you literally got a project manager who's been given this brief. They will very quickly identify they need a BA to help them progress. So my argument is that they would be very early on in the project, probably before your developers, testers, maybe even before product owner, but that might be naughty of me to say because the product owner should be working with the BA quite closely. But yeah, very early on in a project team development, you should be picking up a BA where you know that there's investigatory work that needs to be carried out to understand how you're transforming to the new system or process. When you're looking for more qualitative outputs is where you might look more at user research. If you're erring more towards quantitative, you may want to be involved in that to actually help the user research understand how they can turn kind of open text free form surveys into quantifiable outcomes. But very much within MadeTech, there are BAs that have done user research before. And there's BAs like me who've never done user research before, so I've been privileged enough that everywhere I've worked as a BA, I've had dedicated user research teams. But yeah, some of the BAs will have done all of that themselves as well. So it's quite a flexible approach, I would say, for a BA to be involved in user research. Without a BA, there would be a much longer term cycle between the technical and the non-technical people in terms of there will be a lot of back and forth between those two teams, not understanding each other, and therefore the lack of that understanding, arguing their case that we need all of this, and technical people saying, no, we don't need all of this. So I think the benefit is bringing the project team together in terms of a common place. That common place I usually like to refer to as the product backlog. So anyone can go into that product backlog and go, we're this far ahead, we're this far into the project, we've delivered this, and this is what we've got left to deliver. Another thing you might lack if you don't have a BA is kind of a lack of analysis of quantifiable measures of success of the project. So the BA can actually analyze through process maps and requirements how long an existing process takes and convert that to an equivalent cost measurement and then look at what the future vision is and analyze the time and cost of that, and then compare the two and actually help the project team to understand that they're saving X amount of time with this new system or process, which equates to X amount of cost. So I've talked about time and cost. These have always been my two go-to metrics. However, there are other ones as well. You've got user satisfaction metrics as well. So if it's evident that what you've implemented is improving the user's experience, that's nothing to do with time and cost, is it? That's what the users have asked for has been fulfilled. So that is post kind of when you put something live or in beta and you're getting feedback from the user to say, yeah, we love it. That's success. Success is being as close to the expectation that you set out at the start. It sounds a bit rigid because you can't always predict the future, but the whole point of being a BA is to understand what the limitations are that you might face along that journey, and then making sure you account for that in your kind of cost benefit analysis. And as soon as you start bringing those metrics in, project sponsors and people quite high up in the project structure will immediately take notice and go, ooh, this looks like it's delivering some success, or it's not delivering much success here. Should we stop this and look at something else? So that's the benefit of having a business analyst. In terms of individual BA success, I think that is when you've achieved a common understanding with the project team about what needs to be achieved. If there seems to be an ongoing conflict or ambiguity about what the requirements are and what the process is, and it's kind of going round in content cycles, that's not necessarily successful. I know Agile talks about iterations and constantly improving, but that's based on the assumption that everyone knows what direction you're improving in. So I think if you're able to keep progressing an idea with that common understanding, that's what a successful BA is doing. I wish people would think that we're not there to disrupt an existing way of working. Sometimes we get pushed to the side a bit or talking over a little bit in meetings because they think we're asking very hard-hitting questions about maybe something they've been doing for years and it's working fine for them, or so they think. And you're kind of trying to draw out and expose why that might not necessarily be the best way to do it. And that's where you need to be quite, I mentioned earlier about being personable and quite relaxed. Is you can actually draw that out of people without getting them to think, oh, this BA is coming to expose my bad practices that I didn't know I had in the first place. So that's why I wish people would understand more that we're not there to expose people and put necks on the line and that kind of thing. We're there to help make their lives easier.